In the shadowy world of organized crime, where power is currency and loyalty is fleeting, not for the trail of blood he left behind, but for the path of kindness he ultimately chose. This is the unbelievable true story of a mafia boss who traded his empire for a life of peace, proving that even in the darkest of hearts, a glimmer of light can spark a revolution. Imagine the classic mobster scene, smoke-filled back rooms, deals struck in hushed tones, and the constant threat of betrayal hanging in the air. This was the world Anthony, the gentle Don Costello, was born into. His father was a feared capo, his uncles made men. From a young age, Anthony was groomed to take the reins, taught that respect was earned through fear, that the family's business was the only thing that mattered. And for a long time, he played his part perfectly. He climbed the ranks with a chilling efficiency. He was intelligent, charismatic, and had a strategic mind that made him a natural leader. He expanded the family's operations, moving into new territories and increasing their wealth tenfold. On the surface, he was everything the syndicate could have wished for. He commanded respect, and his orders were followed without question. But beneath the hardened exterior, a conflict was brewing. Unlike his peers, Anthony never seemed to revel in the violence. He saw it as a messy, inefficient tool. He preferred negotiation, finding clever ways to outmaneuver rivals without resorting to bloodshed. His associates mistook this for weakness at first, but they soon learned that his mind was far more dangerous than any weapon. He could dismantle an enemy's operation from the inside out, leaving them bankrupt and powerless without firing a single shot. This earned him his nickname, the Gentle Don, a name spoken with a mixture of mockery and genuine fear. The turning point for Anthony wasn't a hail of bullets or a dramatic betrayal. It was something much quieter, much more profound. It started with small acts of compassion. He once found himself in a small neighborhood bakery run by an old couple, struggling to pay protection money to one of his own crews. Instead of enforcing the debt, he paid it off himself anonymously and told his men to leave the bakery alone. He started noticing the real-world consequences of his business. The fear in the eyes of ordinary people, the families torn apart not by grand gang wars, by the quiet, grinding pressure of his empire. Started visiting a local community center, disguised as a regular guy named Tony. He'd play chess with the old-timers, help kids with their homework, and listen to the stories of people whose lives were a world away from his. He found a sense of belonging and genuine connection that his life of crime, with all its wealth and power, had never offered. He was funding a soup kitchen with his illicit earnings, a secret act of penance that no one in his organization could ever know about. Who could stare down the most ruthless killers? Found himself terrified of a little girl at the community center, asking him what he did for a living. The lies were becoming heavier than any crown. He realized that the power he held was an illusion. It was a cage, built from fear and isolation. True power, he was beginning to understand, was the freedom to be good, the strength to choose compassion over cruelty. The decision to leave wasn't made overnight. No. Do you walk away from a world that has its claws so deep inside you? No. A world where leaving is a death sentence? Anthony knew he couldn't just disappear. It would trigger a massive power vacuum, a bloody war that would hurt the very people he had grown to care about. He had to dismantle his own empire from the inside, carefully, piece by piece. He began a masterful, high-stakes game of chess against his own organization. He used his immense fortune to set up legitimate businesses, offering his most trusted men a way out. This is the future. A real business, a real life, something you can leave to your kids without shame. Some were skeptical, but many, tired of constantly looking over their shoulders, took the offer. He anonymously tipped off law enforcement about his most volatile and violent rivals, using the system he had evaded for so long to clean his own house. He carefully rerouted assets, dismantled operations, and created so much internal confusion that the once mighty Costello family began to crumble, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Every day was a gamble. A wrong word, a misplaced document, and his plan would be exposed and his life would be over. There were close calls. He survived 2 attempts on his life, not by fighting back with force, but by outthinking his attackers, making it look like they were taken out by rival factions. He was a ghost in his own organization, pulling strings from the shadows, orchestrating its demise. Finally, the day came. The Castello Empire was a shell of its former self. Its most dangerous elements were either in jail or had turned on each other. The rest had been absorbed into legitimate enterprises. Anthony, now just Tony, walked into the community center, not in disguise, but as himself. He sold his lavish mansion, donated the vast majority of his remaining, now clean fortune to charities and community projects across the city, and settled into a small, unassuming apartment. He became a full-time volunteer at the center, the one he had secretly funded. The man who once controlled city blocks now found joy in teaching a child how to read. The man who once ordered life-and-death decisions now spent his afternoons serving meals to the homeless. His past was a secret he would carry forever, but his future was finally his own. He found his redemption not in a blaze of glory, but in the quiet, everyday acts of being a good man. Anthony Costello's story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to change. It challenges our black and white view of the world and shows that the capacity for kindness exists in the most unexpected places. He proved that true strength isn't about how much power you can hold over others, but about having the courage to let it go and choose a different path. He traded a crown for a conscience and found a kingdom far more valuable in the hearts of the people he helped. His life is a testament to the idea that the most profound revolutions are the ones that happen within ourselves. Thanks for watching. What do you think of Anthony's incredible transformation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable true stories. See you next time.